Hello, and a massive, warm welcome to you. It is so incredibly great to have you joining us today as we embark on a brand new deep dive.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
So our mission today is to unpack this huge stack of fascinating sources we've got. I mean, we are looking at luxury travel itineraries, local secret guides, and even an actual fall 2026 university syllabus on contemporary Greek art.
Yeah, it's quite a mix.
Right. And it is all focused on a city you probably think you already know, which is Athens.
And, the version of Athens most people have in their heads is usually kind of, frozen in time.
Yes.
Like you picture white marble columns, ancient philosophers in togas, basically a city that functions essentially as a giant static museum.
Yeah, just ruined.
Exactly. But the materials we are diving into today, they paint a vastly different picture of the place.
And that is exactly the hook that drew me in immediately. I mean, these sources reveal an incredibly layered, living, breathing city.
So layered.
We are going to explore how you can watch indie films on the roof of a Roman aqueduct, which is wild. You can study radical street art and even find this tiny, hidden island village right in the shadow of the Acropolis.
It is honestly amazing what's hiding in plain sight.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this, because to truly understand this living city, we actually have to start by completely reframing how we look at the ancient classics.
Right. We have to address the giant monument on the hill, the Acropolis.
Hard to ignore it.
Very hard. I mean, it dominates the skyline and, frankly, the whole historical narrative of the city. But our sources actually guide us to view it through two entirely different, highly modern lenses.
Right, starting with the Acropolis Museum, which sits right below the hill itself. Now, normally a museum dedicated to ancient ruins can feel very, disconnected from modern life.
Yeah, very sterile.
Exactly. But this building, which was designed by the Swiss-American architect Bernard Tschumi back in 2009, it operates almost like a time machine. The architecture itself explains the history.
It's brilliant. So the ground floor of the museum is made entirely of reinforced glass.
Which is wild to walk on.
Oh yeah. Instead of walking into a traditional solid marble lobby, you step onto this glass surface, and it's like being on a glass-bottom boat.
But not looking at fish.
Right, no coral reefs here. You are looking straight down into an excavated, fully functioning 4th century BC Athenian neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah, you see the foundations of houses, ancient streets, even the drainage systems. You are physically suspended over the daily grind of the past.
That is such a cool concept.
It really is. It immediately tells the visitor that ancient Athens wasn't just, a collection of quiet temples. It was a loud, busy, lived-in environment.
And that architectural storytelling, it continues as you go up to the top floor, right? The Parthenon Gallery.
Oh, absolutely.
It is this massive glass-enclosed space, and they intentionally built it to align at the exact angle and orientation as the actual Parthenon sitting up on the hill outside.
The exact same footprint.
Right, so you are looking at the surviving ancient sculptures mounted on the gallery walls. But right through the glass, you can see the original temple they came from just resting in the background.
It creates this really brilliant spatial dialogue. The context is just never lost.
Yeah.
And as you walk along that gallery viewing the surviving sections of the Parthenon frieze, you also notice these stark white plaster casts filling in the gaps between the original weathered stones.
And those plaster casts represent the pieces known as the Elgin marbles. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Those original marbles are currently held in the British Museum in London.
Got it.
And our sources note that the presence of these white casts right next to the ancient stone really highlights a major ongoing cultural debate regarding where these specific artifacts ultimately belong.
Right, and just to be clear for everyone listening, our sources are just reporting on this debate objectively. We are not taking a stance on where the marbles belong, just noting how the museum handles it.
Exactly. The museum's choice here is simply to make the absence a highly visible physical part of the exhibit. They aren't trying to hide the missing pieces. They're just displaying the reality of the structure as it exists today.
It is a very striking visual choice, for sure. So that is one way our sources reframe the Acropolis from inside a modern museum looking out.
Right.
But the second way is about where you physically stand in the city to look at the monument itself. The Local Secrets Guide insists that if you want the best view of the Acropolis, you should avoid going up the Acropolis entirely.
Which sounds completely counterintuitive.
Right. But it says you need to go to Philippo Hill, which sits directly opposite it.
Yeah. Because the instinct for most travelers is to get as close to the monument as humanly possible.
Sure, you want to be right there.
But the sheer scale of the Acropolis means that standing on it actually deprives you of understanding its relationship to the geography around it.
You know, it makes me think of going to an art museum to see a massive wall-sized Renaissance painting.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, like if you walk up and press your nose directly against the canvas, you are going to see the brushstrokes, sure, but you can't actually see the masterpiece. You have to step back across the room to take in the whole composition.
Exactly.
So Philip Papu Hill is essentially that step back.
It is the perfect step back.
Yeah.
And from that vantage point, you finally understand the strategy behind why the ancients chose that specific rock to build their most sacred temples. I mean, it completely commands the landscape.
Wow.
But Philip Papu Hill, which is also known as the Hill of the Muses, it's an incredible historical site in its own right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's covered in dense pine trees and these ancient pathways. At the summit, you have the funerary monument of Philopappos.
Who's that?
He was a Syrian prince who became a really powerful Athenian citizen during the Roman era, which, just shows the highly cosmopolitan nature of ancient Athens.
That is so interesting. And then on the western slope of that very same hill, you stumble onto the Phoenix.
The Phoenix.
Yeah.
The mechanics of what happened there are just staggering.
True.
It is this semicircular, amphitheater-like platform that is carved straight into the bedrock. And this is the physical birthplace of the democratic parliament.
It's hard to even wrap your head around.
It is. Up to 10,000 citizens would hike up this hill, stand on this exact rock, and directly debate and vote on the laws of their society.
10,000 people.
Yeah, and they even used a complex water clock called a clepsydra to time the speeches so no one could filibuster.
That is amazing. 10,000 people standing on a hillside actively inventing democracy.
Right there on the rock.
And just down the slope from that, you have a site known as the Caves of Socrates.
Oh, those are incredible.
They are these deeply atmospheric, rock-cut chambers right in the hillside. Tradition labels them as the prison where the philosopher Socrates was held before his execution back in 399 BC.
Those scholars do debate if that specific identification is completely accurate.
Right. They debate the specifics, but the chambers themselves are undeniably ancient. And amazingly, they are largely unmarked and kind of ignored by the main tourist crowds.
And that idea, stepping away from the highly polished, ticketed monuments to find the messy, lived-in layers of history, it brings us to a really compelling theme in these sources.
Which is?
How Athenians treat public space. Which leads us perfectly to the university syllabus in our stack.
Yes, the fall 2026 college year in Athens, or CYA, syllabus on the history of contemporary art in Greece. I am seriously obsessed with this document.
It's a great find.
It really is, because it completely rejects the idea of learning in a sterile, quiet lecture hall. There is an actual formal disclaimer right in the syllabus warning students that the course requires, and I quote, walking and standing in a popular city where there can be significant background noise.
The instructor is making a really profound pedagogical choice there.
Yeah, for sure.
By forcing students to navigate traffic, the heat, the crowds, the syllabus essentially treats the modern city itself as the classroom. Art and history in Athens aren't just things you study in isolation in a library.
Right.
They're elements you literally encounter while sweating on a sidewalk.
Sweating on a sidewalk, perfectly said. And applying that city as a classroom framework, our local secrets guide points us toward two radically different neighborhoods.
Okay.
The first one is Anaphiotica. You can be walking through the loud, very tourist-heavy streets of the Plaka district, take a wrong turn up the slope of the Acropolis, and suddenly you feel like you have been teleported to a remote Greek island.
It is a fascinating architectural anomaly.
Right.
It's basically a cluster of maybe 40 or 50 tiny whitewashed houses. It was built in the mid-19th century by workers from the island of Anafe who came to Athens for construction jobs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and they essentially built their own micro-village right there in the architectural style of their homeland. So you have these incredibly narrow, winding footpaths, roaming cats everywhere, and small Byzantine chapels.
Those are the intimate cross and square stone churches with the iconic terracotta tiled domes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is such an intimate human-scale contrast to the massive marble columns of the Acropolis, towering literally just above it.
That is beautiful. Now, the second classroom the guide highlights is Kerameikos. This was the ancient cemetery of Athens. And the Eridanos River, which is actually mostly subterranean today, flows right through the middle of it.
And Kerameikos provides a perfect cross-section of ancient Athenian society.
How so?
Well, you aren't just looking at grand temples for gods, You're looking at grave markers for cavalrymen who died in the Peloponnesian War, but also wealthy aristocrats, working-class citizens, foreigners, and women.
Everyone is there.
Exactly. It is the demographic reality of the ancient city preserved right in the stone. And today, the grounds are largely reclaimed by nature.
The tortoises.
Yes. Massive tortoises roam through the ruins, just grazing on the grass, entirely indifferent to the thousands of years of human history they are slowly crawling over.
That is quite an image. So Kerameikos shows us how ancient Athenians organized and honored their dead. But if you want to see how modern Athenians organized the living, the sources point us across town to Exarchia.
Right, Exarchia. Now, this is characterized by the guides as the city's radical, countercultural neighborhood.
Okay.
Its modern identity is heavily tied to its history, specifically the 1970s student uprisings at the Athens Polytechnic University, which is located right in the neighborhood.
Right. And again, strictly reporting from the sources here, our materials describe how those protests played a major role in the resistance against the military junta ruling Greece at the time.
Precisely. And the sources note that this history established a culture of political activism that really defines the area to this day. We're just looking at the facts of how the neighborhood was shaped.
Exactly. No politics from us, just the history. And the physical environment of Exarchia really reflects that history, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It is this dense grid of independent bookshops, vintage record stores, cafes.
Sounds vibrant.
It is. And the walls are a continuously evolving canvas of street art. You have massive anarchist murals, anti-establishment agitprop, and sprawling abstract expressionism just everywhere.
And because it remains such a heavy student area, the guide notes is where you find some of the highest quality, most affordable food in the entire city. Meals run around 8 to 12 euros.
Which is a steal. What's fascinating here is the juxtaposition between Kerameikos and Exarchia. It is incredibly striking.
Yeah, they seem totally different.
Right. One is a quiet, ancient graveyard, and the other is a loud, politically charged modern neighborhood. Yet sociologically, they serve a very similar function in our deep dives.
Okay, how do you mean?
They both offer a raw, unfiltered look at Athenian society. Neither space is polished or sanitized for tourists. They are authentic artifacts of people just living their lives, expressing their values, and claiming space in their city.
Okay, I do have to push back on this a little bit, though.
Sure.
I am looking at the CYA syllabus, and it seems to be elevating modern street murals and conceptual art to the exact same level of importance as classical antiquity.
It does.
But, when people think of Greek art, they think of the Venus to Milo. They think of perfect marble anatomy. Can we really argue that a spray-painted wall in Exarchia or some modern art installation is just as vital to understanding Athens as the Parthenon?
Well, the syllabus makes a very compelling case that you simply cannot understand modern Athens without them.
Really?
Yeah. If you only look at antiquity, you are studying a graveyard. The syllabus essentially forces students to engage with living art to understand the current cultural heartbeat of the city. We can actually see this clearly in the specific field trips the course mandates.
Oh, right. Let's unpack those field trips because they feature some complex artistic movements that I think we definitely need to decode.
Let's do it.
First, the students go to the Scianti Gallery, which is a commercial space, to study a painting exhibition called Dessert by Nikos Siskos.
Right, and this trip forces students to engage with the modern commercial art market.
So not a museum at all.
Exactly. They aren't looking at priceless antiquities. They are analyzing what contemporary Greek artists are producing and actually selling right now.
That makes sense.
And following that, the syllabus demands a visit to the Benaki Museum on Piraeus Street for a retrospective of Alexis Acropolis.
Now, the syllabus refers to Acropolis as one of the most idiosyncratic Greek contemporary artists of the 1980s. What makes him so idiosyncratic?
Well, Acropolis famously rejected traditional canvas painting.
Really? What did he do instead?
He created these elaborate, brightly colored wooden constructions. And he utilized this very specific, almost obsessive line work technique.
Interesting.
Yeah, his work was highly playful on the surface, but it often contained these deep critiques of modern consumerism. By studying him, students see exactly how Greek art evolved to reflect late 20th century anxieties.
Okay, that definitely adds a new layer. Then the syllabus throws a complete curveball.
Oh, the National Gallery trip.
Yes. The students go to the National Gallery, but not to look at Greek art. They go to view the Kostakis collection, which focuses on early 20th century avant-garde Russian art.
It's a huge shift.
We're talking about that highly geometric, radical abstract art that flourished right around the 1917 Russian Revolution. Why on earth are students in Athens studying Russian abstraction?
Because it completely shatters the myth that Athens is an inward-looking city obsessed only with its own past.
Oh, I see.
The presence of the Kostakis collection, which is actually one of the most important assemblages of Russian avant-garde art in the world, it proves that modern Athens is a global cultural hub. It is actively preserving and engaging with international artistic movements.
And that global integration is on full display in their final field trip, which is to the SNFCC, the Stavros Niarchos Foundation Cultural Center.
Such a stunning place.
Right. This is a massive, hyper-modern civic space designed by the superstar Italian architect Renzo Piano. The syllabus has the students take a walking tour of conceptual art by the American artist Barbara Kruger, which is installed right along the center's massive modern canal.
And conceptual art is often much more about the idea behind the work rather than traditional aesthetics.
Right.
Kruger is famous for her aggressive black and white images overlaid with declarative, challenging text in these bright red boxes, usually critiquing power structures and consumerism.
So you have provocative American conceptual art installed along a sleek, sustainable, Italian-designed canal, right in the middle of an ancient Greek city.
Exactly.
It perfectly proves the syllabus's point. You cannot understand this city if you only look at the marble.
Precisely. But, this rigorous academic schedule does raise a really interesting question.
What's that?
Well, the students are out walking the hot pavement, analyzing galleries and public installations. But how do everyday Athenians consume visual culture, especially during those notoriously steamy summer months when nobody wants to be trapped inside a museum?
Oh, they move the culture outside. Which brings us to the final and frankly most atmospheric layer of our deep dive today, the Thurina cinema, or open-air cinema.
The open-air cinema is a deeply, deeply ingrained cultural pillar in Athens.
I had no idea it was so big there.
Oh, yeah. And its origins are remarkably humble. It traces all the way back to the summer of 1900 in Syntagma Square.
Wow, that early.
Yeah. Long before air conditioning, people naturally gathered in the public squares at night just to escape the heat. And entrepreneurial projectionists, known as prolatzides, would simply hang up large white bed sheets in the crowded outdoor cafes and project early silent films.
That is brilliant. From guys hanging bedsheets in 1900 to an absolute civic institution.
Truly.
Today, the guys list 65 distinct outdoor cinemas operating across Athens.
65.
Right. And the sources go out of their way to emphasize the sensory experience of it all. It is not just about the movie.
It's the whole vibe.
Exactly. It's the sound of the gravel crunching under your shoes as you walk into the courtyard. It is sitting in these canvas folding chairs with small tables between them for your drinks.
The smells, too.
Yes. It is the overwhelming scent of jasmine and honeysuckle vines climbing the courtyard walls, mingling with the smell of hot buttered popcorn.
You are sitting there watching global cinema in its original language, reading Greek subtitles while the ambient sound of cicadas chirps in the background.
It sounds perfect.
It really is a brilliant adaptation to the climate that turns movie watching into a communal neighborhood event.
Let's walk through a few of the specific venues our sources highlight because the variety is just incredible.
Let's do it.
We can start with Eglisapeo, which was established in 1910. That makes it the oldest operating open-air cinema in the city.
Over a century old.
Yeah, and it is located inside the lush National Garden, which actually creates a much cooler microclimate on those hot August nights. But it is definitely not stuck in the past. They recently upgraded to a state-of-the-art 4K laser projector.
Nice.
Oh, and the canteen serves handmade deep dish pizza.
Okay, I am sold. It is the perfect marriage of historical setting and modern comfort.
Right?
Another fascinating example of this is Cine Dexameni in the upscale Kolonaki neighborhood.
What's special about that one?
Well, this cinema is built directly on the roof of a Roman aqueduct and water reservoir.
No way.
Yes. It was originally constructed by the Emperor Hadrian, and it actually supplied water to the city well into the 20th century. So today, you just casually sit on top of massive Roman infrastructure to watch contemporary films.
That is just so uniquely Athens.
It really is.
And if we are talking about spectacular backdrops, we absolutely have to mention Cine Paris in Plaka and Cine Thishan. Both of these cinemas offer staggering views.
Breathtaking.
At Cine Paris, you can literally turn your head from the movie screen and stare directly at the illuminated Acropolis.
Just right there.
Right there. Scintillation offers a similar view, but their snack bar takes things to a completely different level.
Oh, tell me about the snack bar.
Forget standard candy. You can order thinly sliced botarga, which is cured fish roe, and pair it with organic wine while you watch the film.
That is incredibly classy for a movie snack.
Isn't it?
Or, for a more traditional taste, Scintillation also serves vicinata.
What is that?
It is this classic ice-cold sour cherry drink that is just perfectly suited for the hot climate.
Sounds amazing.
And beyond the monument views, many of these cinemas deeply reflect the unique character of their specific neighborhoods.
Definitely. Look at Zephyros, located in the Petrolona neighborhood. The guide describes it as this relaxed, bohemian hangout with a pebbly courtyard.
And the cats?
Yes, the cats. It is essentially co-run by the neighborhood street cats, who just casually weave around the chairs and tables while the movie plays.
I love that.
Then there's Vox, located right in the heart of Exarchia.
And Vox is historically significant, not just as a cinema, but because of its exact location.
Oh.
It sits across from the Blue Condominium, which is this iconic avant-garde 1930s apartment block that was actually highly admired by the pioneering modernist architect, Le Corbusier.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it just shows how the neighborhood has long been a center for radical, forward-thinking ideas, whether in politics or architecture.
And rounding out the list, we have Riviera, which is also in Exarchia. That one is famous for its dedicated following of late-night cult classics during their Midnight Express screenings.
Very cool.
And finally, Sinflisbos, which offers a completely different atmosphere. It is located in the Paleophiliro neighborhood, right by the sea.
Oh, a sea breeze.
Yes, you can catch the ocean breeze while eating traditional Greek meatballs and leukomades, which are those incredible, fluffy little donuts soaked in honey and served with ice cream.
Okay, now I'm just hungry. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, when you look at the phenomenon of the Thurina cinema as a whole, it really proves the overarching point of our sources today.
Which is?
Athenians do not view their history as something fragile that must be protected behind a velvet rope.
Right.
They view it as a foundation. They literally take ancient hillsides, Roman cisterns, and historic squares, and they repurpose them into dynamic spaces for modern community, global art, and everyday life.
Athens truly rewards the curious. It is a city where you can step off a crowded street to find a quiet Byzantine chapel in Anaphiotica, analyze subversive American conceptual art on a modern Italian-designed canal, or eat botarga under the stars at a century-old cinema sitting on top of Roman plumbing.
It is a testament to 3,000 years of continuous, uninterrupted, and constantly adapting inhabitation.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over today. Imagine an archaeologist, say, 3,000 years from now, digging through the deep layers of Athens. They uncover the heavy, meticulously carved stone arches of Emperor Hadrian's Roman aqueduct. But resting right on top of those ancient stones, they find the melted plastic and glass remains of a 4K laser projector and a rusted popcorn machine.
Oh, there's quite an image.
Right. What will they conclude about the civilization that built that? They will probably realize that Athenians have always understood something the rest of us often forget. History isn't just something you study, it's something you use to build a better Tuesday night.
That is a wonderfully perfect perspective on a truly incredible city.
It really is. Well, to you, our listener, thank you so much for exploring this deep dive with us today. We hope this journey through the hidden layers of Athens has sparked your curiosity and given you a brand new lens through which to view the world. Take care, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will catch you next time.